Folks, welcome back to the channel. If you don't know where you are, this is Everything Elliot, and I happen to be Elliot. Today, we're going to talk about purchasing a commercial log splitter, if it's something you need, if you're looking to upgrade, if you're looking to up your firewood business, if you're, I don't know, just looking to take the next step. This is my Eastonmade 2228 with attached conveyor. So this is about as commercial as it gets without getting into firewood processors. Now, I'm going to be really honest with you guys. This is a $27,000 piece of equipment, so it is no light investment. But if you're here watching this, maybe you're ready to take the next step and you're ready to make a big purchase, and a commercial log splitter is what you're looking for. The problem with buying a commercial log splitter is once you buy a commercial log splitter, you generally need to purchase support equipment because you're going to be processing so much firewood so fast. You need other equipment to help manage it. So behind me is my John Deere 50 mini excavator. There's a Baumelite mini skid steer. In my dark shop, we've got my tractor, and up front, you can't even see it because it's so dark. Hold on. If I turn the lights on, it'd help. Yeah, there's my skid steer. So I've got a lot of support equipment. Now, I don't have this support equipment just because I do firewood. I have it because I run a small excavation business on the side. So it kind of goes hand in hand. I happen to have it. Just know that if you're ready to make a big purchase like this, be ready to buy something like that. So I've had this splitter for about a year now, and I don't know how many face cord I've put through it. I've lost track. It's a lot. I've put a lot of face cord through this. A lot of firewood has been produced on this machine, and it's been very loyal. The reason that I have a commercial log splitter is time. The amount of firewood that I produce is something that I could do with a smaller log splitter. I make maybe 50 to 75 face cord a year, and that certainly could be done with a smaller log splitter. Heck, I started on a Ruggedmade, which is a tiny machine compared to this. However, time has become valuable to me. I now have a family, I have a son, and I would rather spend time with him than out here in the wood yard. Making this investment gives me more time to spend with my family and less time that I have to spend with this family. So that might be something to consider when you're looking to purchasing something like this. Now, that being said, I said this was $27,000. You can get it without the attached conveyor for, I think, $13,000 less. I don't remember the exact number, but it's much cheaper without the attached conveyor. You can go get yourself an old $500 hay elevator, and it'll essentially accomplish the same thing, except I can fold this up and I can take it with me. It's attached to the machine. So if you're going to be doing mobile splitting, that is also something to think about. That attached conveyor especially comes in handy when you're dumping into something like this, like a dump truck. You can back the truck right underneath it, dump right in, and be on your way. And to my loyal viewers, I know I'm going to get a lot of questions about this truck. It's nice. let me show you real quick. It's a 1995 F Super Duty, so a 10 lug. It's basically a 450 before 450s existed. It is clean as can be. It's a hot unit. Is it mine? I don't know. Will you ever find out? Perhaps. Now, I can talk about this machine until I'm blue in the face, but in all reality, it's probably better just to show you. Because people that have not run one of these or seen one of these probably just don't understand what it can do. Well, folks, that's 2 bins done right there. We have a large 330 gallon bin and a smaller, I think these are 275 gallons. This is the back end of my operation. Obviously, you guys have seen the front end. The back end is here. I do everything into these IBC totes, and it is my experience, loose stacked, that these are just about a face cord, depending how they fall. Some are a face cord exactly, some are a little less. These ones, on the other hand, are less than a face cord. You can get anywhere between a half face cord to 2/3 of a face cord in these smaller bins. That's my experience. Your results may vary. I know that nicely stacked into these are definitely a full face cord with some extra, and these, if you stack them perfectly, you can almost get an entire face cord in there. People may argue that, you know, hey, the known unit of measurement is a face cord. I use totes, so I sell them as totes when I sell them. I don't claim them to be a full face cord because I'm not taking them out and stacking them. It's close. People know what they're getting. I explain to them that, hey, this is almost a face cord, yada, yada, yada. You price accordingly. I just save so much time and frustration of having everything loose stack in here. It's nice. It's contained. I use machines to move it around. The only time I'm touching the wood is when I'm putting it on the log splitter. But here comes the equipment side of things. So now we need to use my mini skid steer to move this stuff. We'll get it out of the way. I got a little organizing to do. I want to, you know, make these piles a little even. And then I got a couple pieces on the ground to pick up. But we'll get these stacked up nicely. We'll get these 2 bins out of here. All right, so I've got the Bombolite warming up behind me, and I just want to say that there is a slight chance that that machine will not pick these baskets up. This is very wet wood. A lot of it is cherry, very heavy, and I think that Bombolite is rated to pick up, I want to say like 1,200 pounds, and there's a good chance that these baskets weigh more than that, but we're going to try it and see what happens. I'll have a little faith. I'll have a little faith, I guess. So that was the small one, and it did do it. So there's a lot more wood in this big one, though. Let's find out if this old girl will get it done. All right, we've got one large basket in there, like I said, just about a face cord. I'm gonna put you guys in a time lapse. We're gonna start a stopwatch because I end up fiddling with the cameras and that does slow me down. So if I just put you in a time lapse, you're gonna be in the same spot for one face cord, but that'll be where I'm most efficient, not monkeying with cameras, and we'll see how it goes. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna start with the machine empty, no logs on the log deck there, or I should say the log lift. And I'm gonna fire up the machine first, at least it's running. So no logs, I'm gonna start loading them. And I'm just going to leave you guys where you are. We're gonna start a stopwatch and we're gonna get rocking and rolling. All right, stopwatch. 3, 2, 1, go. there we have it. Definitely a face cord. You know, it's up there, and then we got a whole bunch on the ground here. Looks like my grizzly bars are missing a little bit, so I'm gonna get this stuff stacked up in here, and then I'll reveal the time. How long do you think it is? Leave a comment below. While I'm stacking this, how long do you think it took me? I did time it, like I showed you guys. So what do you think? I don't care what anybody says, that is a face cord of wood right there. And I still have a little bit extra. This is for sure, hold on, it's rude for me to talk to you with my sunglasses on. This is for sure a face cord. Now, since I don't sell it as a face cord, I sell it as a tote. I don't charge as much as a face cord, and I also don't deliver. They got to come pick it up. So I charge $100 for a large tote of firewood, $75 for a small tote of firewood, and the price may vary in your local area. A face cord around me is going for about $130 for a face cord. I think a full cord you can get like for like 350 bucks or something like that. I don't know, because I haven't bought firewood in 5 years, so I don't really concern myself with other people's prices, because I'm selling a product. If they want to buy my product, they can buy it. If they don't and they want to go somewhere else, they can go do that. It's firewood. They can either buy mine or they can buy somebody else's. Now for the big reveal, one face cord of firewood. How long did it take me? 12 minutes, 31 seconds, 46 milliseconds. Guess I'm getting old. It was about 10 minutes when I first got this machine, so maybe I'm slowing down. Maybe the machine's slowing down, but it's likely me. Yeah. So let's talk about the economics of firewood. Now, there's a lot of different factors you have to factor in. There's logs. There's time you spent cutting the logs. Let's just start at the beginning. Logs. I get 90% of my logs for free. I haven't bought a load of logs in, I think, 2 years, but that involves a lot of my time. So I go out there, I get them, I pick them up with my trailer. I generally have to load my trailer. I have to drive where they are, drive home, unload them. So there is time invested in there, and obviously equipment. I have a trailer. I built log bunks for it. I have this machine here to unload the trailer. So I have the ability to do that. So I save myself that money. Now, we can't say the log cost is zero, because obviously there's my time involved. So you kind of have to figure out what your time is worth, what your machine hours are worth, and then figure out, hey, is it cheaper for me to go pick up logs for free, or is it cheaper for me to just have them delivered? People don't really think about those costs associated with logs. They just think, I can go get them for free because I have the equipment. It's not really free. There's no such thing as a free lunch. Now, for my current scenario and where I'm at, it's easier for me to go get logs. I can get them on my time. I can get them on my schedule, as long as the owner of said logs is cool with that. But some people don't have that time. They don't have the ability. They don't have the trailer. They don't have the excavator. They just don't have it. So they have to buy logs. And you can buy logs generally two ways: by a log truck or from a tree company. Sometimes you can get tree companies to drop trees off for free. However, that's usually the really ugly, nasty stuff that you really don't want to deal with. So yeah, you can get logs dropped off for free, but the time that you invest in cutting them up is going to cost you in the long run, because they are just so nasty and gnarly. When I used to buy logs, I used to buy them from a tree company, but they were the nice trees, and I paid, I want to say it was around $350 for a brush truck full, which is like a grapple truck. It's bigger than a dump truck, but smaller than like a log truck. 350 bucks, that netted me around an average of 17 face cord. That's about how much you'd pack in there. So not a bad investment. But like I said, I haven't paid for a load of logs in a long time. This stuff that's cut up here, that came in on my gooseneck, actually from a subscriber's house. And then this load of cherry logs here, that got dropped off yesterday. I went and picked it up from a tree company. He loaded a trailer for me. I just drove the trailer here, dumped it, drove the trailer back. Super simple. That is all cherry. This stuff that came from the subscriber's house is a mix of maple, ash. What else do I see in here? Looks like there's I don't know, maybe that's birch. A lot of different hardwoods. So all of this was free. So log cost if you're not going to include the equipment, is $0. Then you've got time cutting everything up. And in a previous video, I did that. It took me, I think, don't quote me on this, I want to say it took me about 2 hours to cut up an entire gooseneck trailer full of logs, which really isn't that bad. And it's because I had a new saw to try out. It's pretty cool. I'll put a link up to that. You guys can check that one out. So 2 hours. Everything's piled in here, and then I use my machine to move all the logs closer to the splitter. Again, talking about that ancillary equipment that you're going to need once you get into something this big. Plan on buying something because you're going to need it. If you're just processing 10 face cord a year, probably not worth it. But if you're starting to process, I don't know, 100, 150, maybe it's time that you start looking into something a little bigger. So everything's cut now. We've got it in line, and we're ready to split. So I'm all here by myself. Things would be faster if I had a helper. Somebody could be loading, I could be running, and then you could just be moving totes as well. I think the most efficient way would be with 3 people. You would end up with somebody standing around sometimes, but I think it would work out well. But by myself, you saw 12 minutes, 37 seconds. Was it 12 minutes, 37 seconds? 12 minutes, 31 seconds. I get an entire face cord done. I don't know how much time it took me to cut that one specific face cord. Let's just say it took me 10 minutes to cut a face cord. I don't know. It's a complete guess. I've never timed it. It's really hard to quantify that. But I've got 10 minutes cutting. Let's just do this. Probably took me 2 minutes to unload it, 10 minutes to cut it, and 12 minutes to split it. So we're at 24 minutes total for processing that firewood. My math might be off, but I think it's 24 minutes. 24 minutes, 1 tote of firewood, $100. That works out to be $200 an hour, I think. Roundabout, somewhere around there, $200 an hour if you're operating efficiently. But you've got a $27,000 piece of equipment you need to pay off. So you need to sell 270 of those totes to break even on this machine. And that does not include gas, oil, grease, your time. You just need to get 270 of those totes full to pay for this thing. And that's if prices stay the same. If prices increase, you need to sell less. If prices decrease, you need to sell more. Also, does not include that equipment, the chainsaw. There's a lot that goes into it. Now, you could easily make 270 totes with this machine if you had the log supply, and probably, if you're doing it full time, I would say easily 2 weeks. Selling it's a different thing, you know, you got to wait for it to dry and stuff, so there's that delay, but it's doable. The math is there. You just have to be motivated enough, and you have to know that, hey, I got to pay for this thing. But I want to take you back to the beginning of this video. The reason I have a commercial log splitter is not to make more firewood. I make enough firewood, everybody's happy, I'm happy. I could 100% make the amount of firewood that I make with a smaller, non-commercial log splitter. The reason that I have a commercial log splitter is time. Time is something that you will never get back. Once it's gone, it's gone. You can't grab for it, you can't pull it back. And I am not willing to give up time with my son to sit out here and make firewood. I'm not making millions of dollars. I'm not getting rich off of it. And family is more important to me than money is. So if that is something that I can instill in you guys of why I have a commercial log splitter making 100 face cord a year, that's the reason, my family. So think about that. If you're thinking about investing in a commercial log splitter to save yourself time, something that you can never get back, and I cannot stress that to you enough, time is more valuable than literally anything in this world. And if you don't think that, you should probably do a little self-reflection. That might sound a little somber, but it is what it is. And I hate that saying, but I use it all the time because there's literally no other way to explain that. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. And don't forget to send this to a friend who might enjoy it. Until the next video, I hope you guys have a great day.